Okay, now let's talk about the design and the copy, or in other words, the content of your email marketing campaign. Now, I'm going to be a bit faster in this case because most of the concepts you understand. This is like common sense when it comes to designing a marketing campaign from a creative design perspective. I'm sure you have dealt with similar exercises before. So most of the common rules apply, but there are certain things that you have to be bit mindful when it comes to emails, which are kind of unique areas that you have to pay attention. So I'll quickly go through those areas, but I believe the rest could be easily understood when you just go through the slide deck. So the design basically includes the from name, I mean design and copy, the from name, subject line, and a message. Because when you receive an email, the whole experience is going to be part of the design and message, the copy. So the very first thing you see is actually the subject and the from name, from whom. So that is the very first moment of truth that is going to define or tell whether you are going to open this email and then interact with this sender. The message has two main things: the opening copy and the whole body copy. As with many other any other marketing campaign, just follow this model, AIDA model, which I believe you have read about this model, or you know about this model. Even if you don't know, just don't worry. What it means is any marketing communication campaign, whether it's email or newspapers or anything else, you have to basically have these four elements in it. First, you should be able to get the attention, and then you need to be able to create an interest about the message, the content. When they build an interest, you slowly put some more content, convincing facts and figures, and it could be facts, figures, or something entertaining, some reviews or testimonials or some kind of certifications, something that will validate, that will further establish your selling proposition, so that you create a desire. And finally, an invitation for them for an action, call to action. What could be that action from a digital marketing point of view? Get them to click on a link and come to the website and then buy the product, or download your PDF, or watch your product demo, or subscribe to your email database newsletter, whatever. So get the attention, create the initial interest, then build up on it, give more facts for them to build a desire on your message or product or service, and then finally get them to do a particular action that is favorable to you. The from name, it forms the foundation for your recipient trust and email relationship with you. I mean, if the email is coming from a known person, known brand, you're definitely going to pay little more attention than to an email which you don't know. You may not open straight away, but you at least know, okay, who has sent the email. Okay, it is from this brand, this company. So should I open it or should I not? That's up to you, but at least you have identified yourself. Is the email brand they use to recognize whether to ignore? That is what I basically explained. Stand out in the sea of subject line sameness. What does that mean? Now these days, you may be getting hundreds of emails. Now, for example, I may be getting like nearly 200 emails, my personal emails and sales emails and promotions and social media emails and everything. When it comes to my promotion tab or the sales, promotion email tab, I see most of the companies have very similar subjects: 30% off, 20% off, 5 days left, buy one get one free, this and that. The same kind of subject lines. Am I going to open everything? No. I'll be selectively opening things from my known brands, companies. So from name is very important when you have similar subject lines so that you can decide, okay, which brand, which sender, supplier or brand, company that I'm going to deal with. Help readers find your message if it gets routed into the junk folder. Sometimes it happens. So when you go to the junk folder, you can easily find the sender and put that back into the inbox. And what the recipient used to sort or search messages. Now that is a very common behavior when it comes to finding an old email. You most of the time search by the sender name. Therefore, having a proper identified from name is very, very important. Now, just an example. Now, this one is actually, I had some example. Now, see here, no reply, e-bill from name. I mean, these are not good examples. These are not best ways of sending emails. They now in by reading this and no reply, change password. If I'm looking at this after 2 or 3 days, I don't know what all about this. Like, is it from my bank or my what do you call the insurance company or my university? So there should be a way of identifying yourself. E-bill, I get like hundreds of bills every month, and I don't know what this bill is. So identifying the from name with a proper brand is very, very important. From name best practices: use the company name, brand name, or publication name. Differentiate among different types of emails. Now, say for example, Odell, if is it customer care email? Is it transaction success email? Is it some promotional email? So you should be able to say if it is Odell purchase confirmation, or Odell transaction, or Odell customer care, Odell promotion, so that you know, okay, this is about the product I bought, this is about the customer inquiry, this is about the promotion. Different email that you can use different email addresses for different purposes. Use clearly identifiable name. Do not use the from email address as the from name, especially one such as no reply that I explained you before. Using personal name is not encouraged for business purposes. If it is a promotional email, it is not a good practice to use a person name unless that individual name is closely associated with the brand. There are certain companies where the person's the CEO, the brand ambassador, or whoever, that name is strongly associated with your marketing campaign, then it is fine. So because people are, by seeing the name, they can quickly associate that name with the brand. Otherwise, by just using the marketing executive's name or marketing manager name or whoever the other, whatever the other names, it's not going to produce any good results because people don't know who these people are. And anyway, these are promotional emails, not like business communication emails. So using a person's name for email campaigns is not recommended, and keep it short. Subject line best practices: get the attention and create the interest, as I mentioned again. Convey an answer to the question, what is in it for me? Because you need to get these people to open your email. Before they open, they should understand the value in it. So you should be able to tell what is in it for them. Be honest in the subject line about what is inside. Avoid spam words like, get free or win. Words most of the time used by spammers. So if you use, even though you use them with a good purpose, good intention, sometimes it's not going to give you good results. Avoid all capital letters. The reason is it is like you're screaming for attention. It looks like you're so desperate. It's not a good practice to put all capitals in the subject lines. Make it short. Keep in mind that majority of the emails are open in mobile devices. So the mobile devices can only display nearly 50 characters at a time. Tell what is inside, don't sell what is inside. Start with an action oriented verb. Create sense of urgency. You can say only 2 days left so that people understand, okay, I should open and see because I have only 2 days if it is a promotional offer. Use numbers in the subject line. Especially people have a tendency to react quickly to certain things. 10 things you should do to lose your weight in 5 weeks or whatever. A/B test your subject line. I already discussed that. Opening statement in a message, because people first read the first paragraph and then decide whether they're going to read or not. And the other example is in certain email programs, when you click on the email, even before you fully open the email, you can see the opening paragraph. So therefore it is very important to have a very attractive invitation, a summary or a brief with a call to action, so that people can quickly decide whether they are going to stay with this or not. Even if they want to stay with it without reading the whole thing, they can quickly take an action if they want. And the other thing I mentioned when I was explaining with the demo on Gmails and other web-based email clients, after the subject line, you can see a small snippet of the first line, introduction. So it is very important to have a proper opening statement. The body email ads are meant for emails, not for newspapers. Now, why I'm including this point is I have seen email like this, especially from local like Sri Lankan brands. They do newspaper campaigns and they put the same image as an email campaign, just one image they're sending to hundreds or thousands of people, and no one is going to basically respond to these kind of email campaigns. You have to have enough white space. Use proper images, because images can speak 1,000 words. Obviously wow your readers with every sentence and phrase. I'm not going to discuss all these with details. I'm sure you understand all these things. Load it with benefit rich copy. Show them what you have got. Create sense of urgency. It is always very important for promotional emails. Give them a time. If it is an offer, tell them that it is going to end by this time. There's a very high response when you have a sense of urgency. Have a clear call to action. At the beginning of the email, in the middle of the email, at the bottom of the email. Have proper, clear call to action buttons. Break up your copy into small paragraphs. A lot of people, actually most people, don't want to read chunky, long, lengthy messages, paragraphs. Designed for quick downloading. Remember, most of the emails are used on mobile devices, and there is always a speed issue when it comes to mobile, because the connectivity is not always good in all locations. So email should load really, really fast. So don't put really big images in your email campaigns. Use lightweight images. Include clear banners at the beginning, header banners. Putting site navigational bars like at the beginning of the email. If you can put the main categories that you sell, it could be homewares, say fashions, accessories. If those are the categories you sell, you can have the navigation at the beginning of the email so that people can easily go to those categories. This is a bit of an argumentative, debatable thing. For some people it works, for some it may not work. Sprinkle links throughout the message. What it means is, it doesn't mean that you have to have hundreds of links in an email campaign. What it means is, now as it says, this may work well If you want the visitors to go to various areas of your website, if you are not sure in which area your reader has the most interest, so having more links, giving more options for them, will get them to click at least one of them or few of them. So that's about the design, the copy. That is what at the end of the day going to communicate. That is where you're going to communicate a proper message. No point of having large databases, no point of having the best of the best email broadcasting software if you are doing really poor in terms of your message communication design and copy. Let's say you have got everything right, then you face these challenges: spam and deliverability. Will your email end up in an inbox or spam box? Will it be prevented, stopped, rejected by the firewalls? So these are the problems, the other technical problems you should be aware of. So what is spam? Quickly, there is no proper definition for spam. Spam is actually in the eyes of the recipient, not necessarily if it is defined from the sender's point of view. It can definitely be defined, but I'm talking about legitimate email campaigns. But before to that, let's talk about this. There aren't any definition that everybody agrees on, as I discussed. The general acceptance is that it is an email where, for example, you didn't ask for the email, you don't know who the sender is, the subject line is misleading and bears no relevance to the content, you have no interest in the content, there is no way to get the sender to stop sending the email. If the email you have received is actually having these qualities, there is a high chance that it is a spam email. You didn't ask for that email, you didn't subscribe to that email purposely, you don't know who the sender is. Someone in a corner in a room somehow used an email program or a software program to collect hundreds and thousands of email addresses and now sending you email marketing campaign, putting an agency name at the bottom. Subject line is saying something, but the content is about something else. You have no interest at all about these products or services or content, and there is no way to unsubscribe. Even though you reply to them or contact them and say, "Don't send me any more emails," but if you still keep receiving emails, these are the qualities, characteristics of a spammer or spam emails. So legitimate marketing emails have the opposite qualities. Recipients have requested them. Email arrives in a timely manner. You know that, okay, this company is sending me a newsletter or a promotional every Monday or every other day or every month or whatever. Email is relevant to the needs of the recipient because you have purposely subscribed. Emails allow the recipient to quickly grasp who sent it and what is it's all about. And the recipient can stop getting these emails easily anytime by unsubscribing. So as I told you, these are the good qualities and bad qualities. So if you are a marketer who is following best practices, you will be identified by the recipient as a good, legitimate marketing company sending legitimate marketing emails. But if you are not following these, one or few of these or all of these, then you will be slowly moving towards a spammer. So you will be identified as a spammer. So the definition is actually in the eyes of the recipient. That is why it says here, what is spam? The probability of any one recipient seeing your email as a spam. If it is 100%, you are a classic spammer. If it is 0%, you are following best practice email marketing. Not every company, like, you can't clearly define where you will be sitting, As I told you, if you follow the best practices, you will be moving towards this end. But if you follow the bad practices, one or few of them, many of them, you will be slowly moving towards the spamming side of the equation. What about deliverability? Now, even though you are a good best practice email marketer, you would have seen that your emails are going to go into the spam box. That is because these email programs like Gmail, Yahoo, and other programs, even Office email clients, Outlook, these programs are using special spam detection prevention software, which are run based on algorithms, formulas. So they have a scoring mechanism. They look at the size of your email. They look at the wordings in your email. They look at the image size, number of images, number of links, the capital symbol, colors in the email. And they analyze all these things and give a score. Spam, if that score is going above the spam threshold, then your email will go into the spam folder. If the score for that email is going below the threshold, your email will go to the inbox. Now, how they define the score, how they define the formula? By analyzing hundreds of similar spam emails. Most of the time, spammers use some common practices. As I told you, big images, all capital, lot of green and blue colors and red colors, words like win and free. So by analyzing hundreds and thousands of spam emails, they come up with a formula. And if you get caught, because you have some words and file sizes, and you basically meet certain criteria, even though you didn't intend to, that scoring mechanism will detect you as a spammer. So that is a very tricky thing. So that is why you need to have the right understanding about these techniques. So that is about spam. Now, deliverability means your email is not going to an inbox or a spam box. It is actually getting rejected. There are that is called a bounce. There are two types of bounces. One is called a hard bounce. The other one is called a soft bounce. Now, these are most of the time happening because of some technical reasons. What is a hard bounce? That recipient email address does not exist. Say, for example, you are working for a company and you resign. Now your email account is no longer there. So if I send you an email address because you are no longer there in the company, your company email server sends me a hard bounce. So my email server will realize that, okay, it is a bounce message, and by reading that, the technical terms, we can identify that as a hard bounce. So I should not be sending any more emails to hard bounce email addresses. Soft bounce means it is a temporary failure. Your email capacity is full, or for some technical reasons your email server is down, or for whatever reason for that particular day the email account is not working, or you're out of office. So like that, there could be reasons where temporarily the email cannot reach your email account. So then the server is sending you a soft bounce message. The best practice is, as I told you, you should not send any more emails to a hard bounced email address. But you can send emails, soft bounce email address, but the limit is ideally 5 or less. You are sending the first one, hard bounced. Sending the second one, hard bounced. Sending the third one again, hard bounced. Now you have to be careful. Ideally, you should stop probably you can try another once or twice. If it is bouncing again, but if it could be still a temporary bounce, but you should treat it as a hard bounce. Now, the email marketing software or platforms or programs I told you, explained earlier, they have this capability inbuilt. If it is a hard bounce email address, that program will not send any more emails to that email address. If it is soft bounce, after a threshold you decide 503, it won't send any more emails to that email address. That is why you have to be careful with these Sri Lankan email agencies who always promise hundreds of thousands of email databases. They keep sending similar emails to the same database again and again. They don't refine their email databases. What happens is the recipient, the spam detection software can identify the sender IP address and recognize that you are a bulk email sender who don't really care about the quality of the email database. You keep sending emails to bounce email addresses, whether hard or soft. They can easily identify the sender as a spammer, and all legitimate emails from the same agency will end up in a spam box. So that is the danger in using these agencies. But I'm not again saying that it is really bad, because one thing, there is no rule or regulations in Sri Lanka, but in these countries it is completely illegal doing that kind of email marketing. But I mean, it is up to you to decide whether you should be doing that or not, or whether you should invest money and resources on building your own email database. So I discuss about the deliverability. I discuss about how spam filters work. Metrics and measurements finally. I basically discussed this as well when I was demoing the platform. What metrics you should be looking at? Number of email sends, total number of emails, bounces, total number of emails that were rejected, bounce rate. Ideally, it should be less than 1%, 99%. If it is a clean email database, all email addresses should be delivered. All emails should be delivered to these email addresses. Right? Open rate, out of the total number of delivered emails, how many have opened the emails? That is open rate. Click-through rate means how many have clicked on that email. And conversion rate means how many of the people have actually finally bought something or interacted with you as a transaction or a download or some kind of an action. That is the conversion rate. The number of goals you achieved, whatever the goal you have defined, number of goals you have achieved as a percentage of the total number of visits to the websites you have got from the email campaign. I mean, there could be a lot of other metrics as well, but as long as you have an understanding of these basic metrics, then you know how to measure the performance of your email campaign. So that is basically, unsubscribe rate and churn rate. You should ideally keep the unsubscription rate at a very low level, but you can't avoid people, being unsubscribed or sending unsubscribing request. Every time when you send a campaign, there'll be X number of people who always want to unsubscribe. But if it is if you can keep that at a certain level, that is the ideal thing to do. So that's actually the end of the session on email marketing. If you have any questions on this, since this is a video lesson, if you have any questions, please post those questions on the Facebook page. That is where you interact with the other lecturers and friends and notifications and all. I'll definitely respond to these questions. So if they are like questions which cannot be answered as a small comment on Facebook, then we can probably decide whether we need another session, but I don't think so. I have basically covered most of the areas in email marketing. So post your questions, and we'll see what they are, and we'll do the discussion from there onwards. So thank for your attention, participation on this video lesson, and I'll see you again in another topic, probably in the same course or probably in another course. Thank you and see you.